Thank you for everybody for coming and giving me an opportunity to present Barsele. It's nice to be able to come back to Europe and present a European project, and this is a good one. Hopefully by the end of this presentation, I'll be able to show you that this deposit is going to be world-class by whoever mines it, and it's going to proceed on in the next 2 to 3 years to that stage. So let's go through it. Don't have a lot of time to talk about the group. I'll just say that it's a group that's had a lot of experience, a lot of success, and we think we've got Barsele as one project and another project in Mexico and another company that both look like they're going to be mines. So more success on the way. Share structure is pretty simple. It's no warrants. This is company, we spun it out of Oryx a number of years ago, and up until a year ago, it had never done a financing. The deal with Agnico Eagle, who's the operator and our joint venture partner, is we're free carried right to pre-fees. So we get to sit back and watch a world-class miner progress the deposit. Where are we located? We're in northern Sweden at the culmination of two belts. What's known as the Boliden belt, where Boliden's got most of their mines, VMS mines that go east-west, and a gold zone that's kind of early development, and there's new deposits being found in the gold zone, of which ours is one of them. You know, it's just an incredible, what I think is world-class place to find a mine. It's got all the infrastructure that you'd ever desire. You've got a highway right to the project. You've got rail right to the project. A rail line goes right over to the east coast of Sweden to the smelter. You've got water. You've got some of the cheapest power in the world. I think we just saw a crypto deal done by the Swedish government at 1.6 cents a kilowatt. And what's becoming more important these days is clean power. It's all hydroelectric, and so you please the environmentalists as far as where your power comes from. You're not burning diesel, which is dirty, and having to do diesel generators. So I think I could skip this. Go skip that slide. That's just a picture of the main zones. We've got a 2.5 million ounces currently, 43,101 in the yellow, and we've got a small VMS. So we've got two styles of mineralization. The Nora zone up in the north corner is VMS, high-grade gold VMS. That's what Agnico has been looking for the last 2 or 3 years, and we kind of go back and forth and argue with them that they should be concentrating more on the gold zone than the VMS, because we think the gold zone's 5 to 10 million ounces. At probably going to be an average grade around 3 grams. And it'll be open pit, bulk underground, and select underground mined. Potential growth, it's got great blue sky. We've got an 8-kilometer shear zone, of which the resource is only in the first 3. The other 5 basically hasn't been touched yet as far as exploration, but it certainly is, it looks every bit as good as the first 3. As far as what we can find there. Agnico found 2 very high grade a year ago fall, 2 new high grade areas. We hit 5 meters of 84 grams in a hole that has not been followed up yet. So hopefully that starts in January, and we start delineating some really high grade, which is going to be great for the deposit for an early return on investment for CapEx. The deposit only goes down, the resource only goes down 450 meters on average. We know it goes at least 1 kilometer because we've got some deep drill holes, but not enough drill holes and not enough spacing to put into a resource. That's where we get the 5 million ounces from. Agnico will tell you there's 5 million ounces down to 1 kilometer in that 3-kilometer window. Multiple places on the property now that are blue sky, and you have a blue sky huge upstate on the VMS itself. And that VMS usually occurs in clusters. In this belt, it occurs in clusters, and Agnico is absolutely certain there's more of the clusters like Nora. Just some high-grade hits that you can see. We've had one or two results, the highest being 1,100 grams per ton gold. Just shows you that there is high grade in the system. We hit the 5 meters of 84 grams last fall, and that zone is not in the resource yet. So we've got hits of hundreds of meters of multiple gram, and it's just a great project. Metallurgy, another one you have to check off the list. Exceeding, first crack was exceeding 92. They think they can optimize it at about 96. 50 to 60% by gravity circuit, it's free gold, and the rest would be a closed cyanide circuit, which is already done in Sweden and very common. The highlights of the resource, what Agnico had done, they've increased the indicated, they increased the inferred. One thing is people ask us about, when Agnico does a resource, is it comparable to other guys' resource? And it's not. Agnico does what's called a mineable resource. And for instance, when they drill a vein, they put MSO stopes on it and then put dilution on each side of the stopes, and usually put zero grade on each side of the dilution. So it reduces your grade, but it's not really a resource. It's much closer to a reserve. So when you see our resource, it's ultra conservative. Sensitivity, you can see that, depending on the cutoff, it doesn't change a whole lot. It's pretty consistent. I know I'm running out of time. This is a slide we threw in here. National Bank did this slide a few years ago, and on their universe of companies that were covered, they had us as number one for benefiting from a rise in gold price. That didn't happen because Agnico went after VMS, unfortunately, and we didn't get a lot of gold results out. But we think that's going to happen in the future. And the reason we're number one is because we're free carried, so every ounce is found is basically no cost to us. This is a slide I like. I have a pet peeve with junior exploration companies lately in the valuation that they speak of gold in the ground. I've been in this business 30, 35 years or more, and I can remember when gold was $250 to $400, and we were using $50 an ounce of gold in the ground as far as valuing exploration companies. So when I hear guys today say $50 an ounce in the ground, I think they're nuts. Exploration companies should be looking at $100 to $200 an ounce in the ground when talking to majors about valuation. And so I just threw that in there. You look at a 5 million ounce deposit, you should be looking at somewhere between 5 and 700 million as far as a takeout price for your deposit. We just put out this news release a couple of days ago, and it's something Sweden's been doing and trying to do for a couple of years on this deposit. And as far as I know, it's the only one in Sweden right now with this designation. And basically what it says is nothing should stand in the way of permitting this project because the mineral resource in the deposit is of an economic interest to the country. And they drew a line 685 hectares worth, and it took in 2/3 of the small lake that's on the property too. So that's going to change the economics of the deposit as well. It's going to make the open pit bigger, and it's probably going to allow for berming or draining of this small lake. Why Barsele? It checks off all the boxes. High quality asset, lots of ounces, 5 to 10 million it's going to be. One of the best mining jurisdictions in the world. Strong institutional support. Free carried interest by Agnico. Metallurgy is great. Top leverage to gold, and it's an obvious takeover candidate. And with that, we can open it up for questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Gary.
Thank you.
So, questions, please? Yep.
Is Agnico still interested in your...
Good question, and probably what we were anticipating is the first one. We've been trying to buy Agnico out, trying to work on a deal that And the reason, if the first question is why is Agnico willing to sell the project? Sean has made it imperative that the growth of Agnico was going to come from Canada. He's cut all the budgets, you know, for anything outside of Canada. Even Kittilä in Finland has a reduced budget. Mexico's getting reduced budgets. All the money's going towards Canada. You saw the deal, the big deal with Kirkland is another, you know, made in Canada deal. He wants to be the king of none of it, you know, in the north. And you know, you have to give him credit. It was a hell of a great company. But that doesn't mean Barsele was a bad project. Barsele's drawn an incredible amount of interest from Newmont, who's standing by to go and see it. They can't go because of COVID. Sweden won't let Americans in. You know, it's with the new management. To answer your question, with the new management, we don't know yet whether they're going to come back and say, no, let's take this thing to pre-feas and let's speed up the drilling. That's what their team on site wants to do. The team on site, with the Agnico team, is just distraught that Agnico might get rid of this.
Another question, if I am allowed, is you're speaking about gold mining, which is of course a lot of companies in Sweden has that going there. But is there also nickel in the area?
In the north, yes. Yeah, we've hit some nickel, but nothing of consequence yet.
No mine.
I'm not sure if there may be a nickel mine project in the north of us, but I'm not sure.
But you don't know of it?
No. The big mines north of us are iron ore in Sweden. Sweden's the biggest producer of metals in Europe. I don't know if a lot of people don't know that, but it is. Yeah.
So blue then.
Okay, more questions? If not, thank you very much, Gary.
Thank you, guys.
Gary will be here for one-to-ones or more questions.